The world is changing.
51 years ago, the War of the Wilds came to a stalemate. The people of the Graynor Peninsula set all plant life ablaze to stop the Stranglehold and built a mighty wall to keep the wilds at bay. All the while, they sat atop their monument, never truly knowing why this all began. A likeness of peace blanketed the blasted lands.
1 year ago, it all changed. An ancient god, once bound by old magic, found himself free and took his vengeance as his shackles were shattered. The mountainous city of Bulwark paid a grave price, but in the wake of this destruction comes the first glimpses of the possibility for true and honest peace.
Our heroes venture from their familiar homeland into the fullness of what their world was before the war, a world they've touched but never truly seen. They find themselves caught between a land that has tried to end their lives hundreds of times over, and a country they helped decimate.
Under the canopy, they seek glory, truth, and salvation. The world is changing, and their hands will guide it. Hello, and welcome back to Another Path. My name is Chase, and I continue to be your GM. Today, reunions, and breaking some very bad news. Thank you to our backers, Veronica, Roger, and Christina, for all of their support. With that, sit back, relax, and enjoy your trip down Another Path.
Halo intro?
Apparently, that's where I decided I went with.
There's a great video somewhere on the internet of an entire football team of high school boys in their big locker room with very good acoustics singing that, and it's very pure.
I mean, like, that
it
doesn't surprise me at all.
Chef kiss.
It's very good.
Well, yeah, because the people in my high school that were played football were the people that were also just like way too into Halo.
There is a type, and that's it.
See, I would be the type of person who would just try to, like, anytime like a friend's like, "Hey, come over, we could play Halo," and I would just try to get the warthog to land in weird places.
That's legit. That's a legitimate strategy.
My entire exposure to Halo was my older cousin, who had what I thought at the time, foolishly, were the cool games when I just had an N64 and a GameCube. And it's nice to know that I was right in my youth in having exclusively Nintendo consoles.
Hey, look.
Oh, shots fired. Are we doing a video game podcast again? I'm cool with it.
It sounds like that's what we've launched into. I think.
All right, great.
Doing
Continue,
Game
Griffin.
Boys.
So here's the thing, like, the Buddies is happening within the next month, because we're up next.
Dang it. Game Boys is very good, Griffin.
Game Boys is also very good.
Is taken.
Oh, okay.
I did look. I mean, we could call it that and do it Boys with a Z.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. And look, it's a Patreon episode.
Wait, Game Boys to men.
Well, we can't be BOIS? Whoa, wait.
It can't be. What, can we be the game?
Fuck, Griffin.
Can we be the game Decimaters?
No. No.
The Decimaters?
Gamegis.
Gamegis?
We're getting
Were the
closer.
Gamegis 3?
Aegis N64.
Another Path Advanced.
That's okay. I can dig with that. Another Path 360. Or we'll just make it like an iPhone nowadays, and it's Another Path F3.
Well, no, because if we go with 360, then the sequel has to be Another Path 1.
Yeah.
Another Path Battle Royale.
Another Path episode HD 2.8.
Or we can get like one of
Another Path Sunshine.
one of those bullshit like the PSP editions of Kingdom Hearts, and it's like Another Path like 375 over 12 days.
358 days over 2.
Yeah. Whatever the fuck that game title is.
Another Path Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah.
Another Path RE : coded.
Oh,
Yes.
boy.
We'll find a random word generator, and we'll each grab a word from it, and that'll be our sort of subtitle.
That entire podcast will just be us deciding the
There
name.
we go.
Probably.
It is.
That will probably be very listenable one time.
Oh yeah, and then never again.
Never again. Did y'all watch David Bryan Gilbert?
Yes,
Subject himself.
David Bryan Gilbert.
David Bryan Gilbert subject himself to Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah,
in the 90s zone.
the Crash dimension.
I saw David Bryan Gilbert live through my childhood.
That was
Because while I did not have Crash, everything else around that, straight out of out of 9 to 10-year-old Chase right there.
Boy, that brought back some memories. Except instead of sitting in a crappy inflatable chair, I was sitting in a booth at a pizza shop. But that was my TV.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had a PlayStation 1 where I played, exclusively Crash and Spyro.
Sure.
And
what else do you need?
And it was at my grandma's place that I would go to after school while my folks were still at work. And all I remember is that classic, wooden hutch with, the swing out cabinets and shit.
Yep. That every grandmother has.
I don't remember exactly my chair, but it was, one of those, on the floor chairs that, didn't have any legs.
The gamer chairs?
Kind of, but it was, but it might have been a beanbag chair. I don't remember.
Did anyone else have the shitty it was pretty much looked like a banana, and if you had excess cable, you could it had speakers in the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
I never used that function because it was garbage. But used that fucking thing. It eventually gave out, and then we duct taped it 5 times. And then I would sit there and shove a whole roll of sour bubble tape in my mouth.
It's very 90s.
Did anyone else ever just take a chomp out of a whole roll of bubble tape? Just me?
I think it's why I can't do sour anymore, because I hit my limit when I was 9.
See, I never quit, baby.
I've always been a sour boy.
Yeah, I've got they were Wonka shockers. They're the sweet tarts, but the chewy ones that are super sour.
Yes.
I have a bag of those downstairs because I never stop. My tongue's probably blue right now. No, it's fine.
A little bit.
A
little bit.
It's there. Present.
Yeah, and I was eating a bunch.
I was a sour Skittles.
Oh yeah.
Those fuck you up.
I had the what was it? The tangerine citrus Altoids.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, what a shot.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember Juicy Drop Pops?
Juicy.
Yeah.
So you just go for it instead. You don't put it fuck putting on the sucker. Just go for it.
It. Yeah.
God. But he pulled out those sprays, those sour sprays.
Oh yeah.
Sour sprays.
Oh man.
See,
I remember those.
Yeah.
I remember where we would ride it was a progression where it went from bikes to our skateboards to a ripstick eventually, that we would ride down the street a ways 15 minutes to the Walgreens, and I forgot what it was called, but it was this sour gel stuff where it was like a clear colored, just it was like a toothpaste tube almost, but you just squeeze it. It was like a squeeze sucker, I think is what it was called. But you just literally, it was just pure sugar in a paste form that you would then shoot into your mouth and be like, num num num, this is delicious.
Curious.
Yeah,
I think the FDA
Curiouser
allows
curiouser.
these things to be made anymore.
I don't know. I really don't. But
we can't have sugar pop in schools, so I'm guessing no.
Was it called the ooze tube?
I don't think so. I'm going to do some Googling.
I did some cursory Googling and came up with an ooze tube.
That sounds like a very terrifying take on a gelatinous cube.
I have nothing further to contribute to this bit.
It was made by Hubba Bubba. It was the Hubba Bubba Squeeze Pop. I'm going to drop a link in the chat, just so you all,
for all of you listening along, click the link. That you can Google.
It was
I remember that.
It was all about the blue one,
Naturally.
and because I would go extra because it eventually got to the point where you could no longer squeeze it, because so I would let it drain to the bottom and then cut the top off it with a pair of scissors and then just tilt it back.
They look like tiny hotel shampoos.
Yeah.
They are, but they're sour candy, and I would eat so many of them. Like,
oh man, this sent me to a Pinterest page, and I haven't thought about a bottle pop in a minute.
oh yeah, baby bottle pop,
bottle
baby bottle
baby
pop.
bottle pop.
Oh god, what's it? You can lick it, dip it and munch it. What a weird candy.
Yeah.
In 4 different flavors.
Oh man, baby bottle.
Y'all
pops.
remember Light Brights? Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Holy
closing this Pinterest
shit.
page.
All right, we're now pivoting from a video game podcast to a 90s nostalgia
It's the
podcast,
same thing.
apparently.
Every video game podcast I've listened to.
I mean,
That's not wrong.
fair enough.
We rejoin our heroes as they race across the plains outside of Lee, aback their Kyrip Striders. The sun is setting. The snow, which has been sitting on the ground over the past couple of days, continues to grow more patchy, more barren. All 5 of you bound towards the Far Reach Farm, where you're...
I was just looking up the name of it.
Yep, I was right behind you. The Far Reach Farm.
Where?
You want to drop that guy's name real quick?
With
Gaudium,
Gaudium.
Katera,
Gaudium.
Fabula, Canticum, and Curio? Yeah, I got you.
They have great apricots.
and children.
I thought it was apricots.
That's right, I used my jam already.
It's a cultural thing. It's a regional
I
thing.
probably still have part of this jam, right?
You've only used part of it. I will say you still have some jam.
Because I've only used it for the one, oh goodness, what did I put together? Oh, 2 cinnamon buns and some apricot jam.
Delicious.
Mordecai definitely like a bear at a beehive was just fishing his hand in scooping out handfuls of jam with his hand.
Good.
Hand jam.
Good.
Were you wild shaped as a bear?
I upsettingly no.
That was full more hand.
Yeah. It's just like you open a door, he's turned away. And he just...
You do the hamster turnaround.
So, like, when anybody encounters me eating shredded cheese out of a bag. Yo, right there's that grub.
Oh, I got his ass. Yeah.
No, it was the shredded cheese out of a bag.
Good choice.
Because I've been there before. I've been the person, like, when I was in high school, like, sitting there with, like, with the shredded cheese, and my mom would be like, Zachary Taylor Robb, and I'd be like...
Oh, boy.
You have a couple of minutes to talk if you would like to before you reach the farm. Baylett is taking point on this one as he's got a bead on exactly where they are.
I let the last suit I'll ever wear form to just some casual wear.
Sure.
You know, just like, a pretty plain shirt and some breeches.
Sure.
Don't want to be too what's the word I'm looking for?
Ostentatious.
Ostentatious. I'm going to a farm. I need to look like an everyman.
Yeah, you throw, you morph it into a flannel.
Yeah, it's a nice flannel and jeans. Yeah,
So, I took the liberty of making a very small list of things that we should probably just be on our, boxes that we need checked.
Okay.
Obviously, we ask whoever's there about Graynor. And just
definitely.
status therein, learn some of the history maybe that we didn't know about before, because it wasn't relevant when we were meeting him.
That sounds boring, but important.
Doesn't it, though? The crown, I think, could be worthwhile to ask about.
Mm-hmm.
Because if anything in that weird drug trip is to be believed, then we know what this
phylactery.
Philamery is.
I just said it. It's phylactery.
Phylactery, thank you. Mordecai takes out a piece of parchment and writes it down phonetically.
It's no, it's a PH.
It'll help me if I write it down phonetically. Apparently, I know what phonetically is, but not phylactery.
They're not that far off.
We did confirm Baylett.
Yes.
Mom has her bracelet, yeah?
Yep.
Excellent. Checking that. And then who knows who the hell else will actually be here at this part of this delegation. But, yeah.
I believe your father might be coming. I believe there was mention of Justic Arvin.
Yeah, we're not trusting that one, right?
Oh, no, of course not.
My uncle will be here as part of this, like, prisoner exchange.
Oh, are they coming with their retinue?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, they've got the prisoners with them, as well as the contingent from Erden.
I wouldn't be surprised if Colonel Coppersot was here.
Do we have any idea who all's going to be here? I don't know who we can trust.
I mean, we're just
apart
sort of
from your folks, Mordecai.
I mean, if this needs to be a private conversation with Mom first, I think that might be the way to start.
No, I think
like
the
wisdom.
order of operations is fill in your mom and maybe your dad.
Heh.
And then maybe a select few, like I would trust Colonel Coppersot if she was here. Like, sure, she, heads the Hedron, which is sort of bullshit, but...
Zafir, I would have trusted her a year ago. I don't know what's going on in the world right now.
I mean, like, if I spend enough stuff, use enough resources, the Deep has granted me a new gift that maybe I can use.
Great.
Love it. I think I can talk to plants now if that comes up. That's beside the point, sorry. We at least have the start of a plan.
And I de-stride from Fafa, and I like hand Mordecai the reins and go, hold on to her for me, and I'll run out a ways, and I'm going to cast Thunder Step at 4th level, and you just hear crash, and then I pop, I believe it's 60 feet down the road?
90.
I was at 90?
Oh, wow.
Up to 90, yeah.
Yeah, I pop down the road a bit, and then it happens again. Crash! And then I'm down, and I have expired all of my spell slot, my packed slots, which means for the first time, I now get to see my heads-up display activates.
Your tooltips.
Yeah.
Mordecai is currently thinking about cheese.
You are now getting the constant feed on everyone. Everything has kind of become desaturated, except for people, things that are affected by this site. You can actually, they are super saturated. It's a little disorienting at first, but you pretty quickly get your bearings and are able to move forward into the camp.
Hey, Mord, how's that wedgie treating you?
What? How? Oh, no. Revealed, I stopped trying to sneak the way out of it, and I just, go for it. Just get that out of there.
I'm proud of you.
I hate this new... Have I mentioned I hate the Deep?
Not lately.
If it makes you feel any better, I think Jackie's working on some swamp ass, so...
I mean, aren't we all?
I've got the reverse, whatever it is when it's in the front, if it helps.
Swamp Grundle.
The Grundle, yes.
I think that's just a swampy dick.
It's just swamp dick.
Well, it's just, swamp ass is it's succinct. It sounds like it flows.
Yeah.
Swamp Cock's got a good ring.
Swamp Cock is interesting, yeah. But it also makes me think of a strange species, subspecies of rooster that lives in swamps. But the swamp has been polluted, so it's sort of it's gone, taken on some changes, and so it is the dreaded Swamp Cock.
I hate all of this. I'm leaving it all in.
Very good.
You ride for another 45 minutes out of town. Very quickly, you come upon this place that you have left what feels like several months ago now, but was only a few days ago.
It was
the Far Reach Farm.
3 days now?
Yeah.
It's been a long couple of days.
Yeah. The Far Reach
felt like
Farm.
several months.
A lovely little apricot and apple farm out in the middle of the fields outside of Lee. The farm itself is quiet, but just across the field from the farm, there is a lively contingent of individuals. You see a lot of guards setting up camp. There are about 7 or 8 very large tents that are being constructed. You are all familiar with this traditional kind of military encampment. There weren't many drills outside of the wall. However, the practice drills were set up across the fields, leading from Greynor's wall to Bulwark on a regular basis.
I'm going to ride in pretty quick because we gave Gaudium no notice.
Sure.
Yeah,
I was kind of hoping that we would beat them here, and we did not.
Did not.
in the slightest.
And you see the familiar form of this heavy-set elf standing out front of his farm, looking across the road at this formerly empty field, suddenly filled with people that he used to call an enemy.
I'll write up. Gaudium. Hi. Sorry, we were sort of hoping to beat them all here.
You know them?
Yeah, they are coming for the peace talks that are to happen tomorrow. And we were hoping to just, meet with our colleagues sort of in a free space, and we were hoping to sort of get here and speak with you beforehand.
Yeah, heads up would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have been. I am so very sorry for this. If I had any money on me, I would give you some for your time.
If only we had a warlock amongst us that do sendings. And I look at Baylet.
I will be honest, I did forget, and that's all.
We all forgot. I mean, it's not on you, man.
I look back at the group. Does anyone have any money?
I fish 5 gold out of my pouch and palm it and hand it to Saphir.
All right, fantastic. Yeah, I'll grab Gaudium's hand and put some of this. Again, I am so very sorry. We were trying to beat them and sort of have a discussion with you beforehand. That did not end up being the case. We just appreciated your hospitality so much. We thought this would be a nice, relaxing place to discuss for a little while before making the way into the city. We did not think it through, and for that I apologize.
He takes the gold in hand and just kind of clasps his hand around. It's like, the storm does not warn when it is coming, although it frequently leaves behind a bounty. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, Katera.
His Goliath wife waves from inside. You can see the 2 children, each one with blonde hair, one with black hair, kind of peeking up from inside. Curio is continuing to work. They're not on their property, so, that hasn't stopped.
Can I make an insight check or something on Gaudium? Because I wanted to know if he's carrying himself differently, if he seems more sure of himself, because he is the next king. And I want to know where we're at in that process.
If he has the regal bearing,
man must be king.
Go ahead. Yeah.
The man who would be king.
That would be a regular 20 insight.
He has the bearing of a man who could lead. You don't know about king, but certainly mayor.
Perhaps a burgermeister.
A duke.
Magistrate. A viceroy.
A chancellor.
Other regal titles.
I'm sure that the group will patronize you, of course. I'm sure they've been traveling. They could use some of your delicious apricots and apples. We will vouch very highly of their quality. I put a little bit of that jam between 2 cinnamon buns.
I didn't even have to tell you to do that.
Oh, it was so good, Gaudium.
I pull out my jar of apple jam. I was saving this for a special occasion, so this seems like as good a time as any.
Yeah.
Put it between 2 pastries. You never would have thought pastry jam sandwich, but anyway, we should go and address our incoming friends. Thank you for your immense courtesy. Gravely appreciated.
You are welcome. Now go. See to your people.
Thank you, Gaudium.
As we head over to the tents, you said 8 tents?
Yeah.
So, and you said bigger, so what are we talking, like 3 to a tent, like 25 people? Are we talking more than that?
You're looking at about 25. You can tell that some tents are a little bit larger and meant for more than 3. You're seeing a good number of guards about as well. I would like you each to go ahead and roll me a perception check.
That is an 18.
18
for the bear.
20, the hard way.
11.
Jackson, you catch sight of the prisoner contingent. Those that are being brought over. You see a bedraggled and tired-looking but otherwise healthy Cenas with a healthy number of guards about. And clearly leading those guards is one Colonel K. Coppersot.
Hey.
Called it.
The Colonel is here.
And she is looking older, certainly. It has been a rough year for all parties involved. And she is there looking sternly and keeping an eye on the prisoner tent that is being built.
Is it just the one prisoner?
Oh, no. You see several prisoners. You get a quick count. You see 5.
But does Cenas seem to be the most important?
Not more important than any of the other ones.
Okay.
Several prisoners of equal value, possibly gathered over the few years. Mordecai with an 18.
Mm-hmm.
You see her mom. And she has not noticed you. No mind being paid at all. She is keeping an eye on on her tent being constructed. It looks like she has a place all to herself. And you do see the bracelet on her wrist.
Radical. Maintaining as much composure as I can, I will dismount and begin leading my Kyra strider.
So here's the thing. As you start to do that, Zephyr, you are greeted with a spear tip. Halt!
Hello.
A heavily armed guard stands before you, dressed in a new kind of Grenorian finery. The armor is about the same as you remember it being. Lots of leather, sparse plating here and there. The tabard has changed from the traditional peach and cyan of old Raynor to a new white G emblazoned on a field of slate gray.
Yes, sorry, did not mean to alarm. Zephyr Shanestiliath, Mordecai Bulwark, Jackson Silver. Yes, Master Bailith Haram. We're here to say Leia Bulwark.
He pulls the spear down. Right. You're the reason. All right. Dismount. We'll take your beasts.
Can I roll insight on what he meant by that?
You don't have to. You can see his thoughts.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I can't I?
Oh, yeah.
By that, he meant you are the reason that they are not sleeping in a bed tonight. They're camping an extra night so close to the city because y'all sent a message that said, hey, we need to talk outside of the city walls.
Awesome. What's this Joker's name?
Dion.
Does Dion have a rank visible?
Yeah, I was going to say, do I see a rank?
Lieutenant.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, I just, as this happens, I take a step forward and I just give Zephyr the eye like, you got this or you want me to take this?
Hey, it's up to you. He seems to be sort of stepping aside, but pull rank, go for it. You haven't gotten the flash your bars lately.
You know, everybody needs a good bar flashing every now and then.
Yeah, flash the bars. I do the after you.
I will dismount and just...
Mordecai puts his hands on the back of his head, getting ready to watch.
I dismount and just kind of slowly make my way up. Scythe visible.
Mm-hmm. What?
You are not worth my time. Stand down.
And I half whisper, half over to Zephyr. I go, uh-oh, he pissed off the captain.
Look, I don't know what it is that makes you think that you can tell me what to do.
Military rank, mainly.
Life experience. Not being a jagoff, sorry piece of shit that just needs to get his ass handed to him every now and then. So stand down and step aside.
Look. Whatever. Hop on off your... whatever these... striders. We'll get them stabled up.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dion. And I'll get down and just hand him the reins.
He gives you a look.
I'll give him the reins and walk into camp.
You see in the scroll, fucking wizards.
Warlock and a bard, thank you.
He does flip you off.
As all four of us walk by, he gets 4 sets of reins dropped into his hands.
Yep.
5.
Yeah.
Oh, 5.
Amraya
yeah.
Dejani is there.
Johnny's here.
Amraya Dejani has been here and is just... Jackson, what is your modifier for insight?
My insight mod is +5.
+5? Okay. So, a passive 15 insight, Amraya Dejani is feeling uncomfy.
That's fair.
Yep.
Can I?
He's around his captors.
Can I read Amaraya's mind?
You cannot.
That's fair.
That's
You see his name all spelled out.
Which
and
I will never remember how to spell
Nope.
his name.
Nope. Completely useless
Every
to you.
time it scrolls across your feed, the number of apostrophes changes, as does their positioning.
Yeah, at one point there's a oh shit next to it.
His race is also obscured.
Yeah, it's got the redacted bar through.
It's glyphs. Like, you cannot read it.
Very good.
And you, alongside your fellows, begin to walk in. This hubbub with Dion has drawn some attention to you, not the least of which being your mother's.
I will take the lead a little bit.
Whatever she is holding, she drops.
I'm trying to maintain some composure and to help kind of disperse the crowd. Not disperse, but like make them feel like there's nothing to see here.
Sure.
I will just straighten my back a little bit and, nod firmly in her direction and just say, Archdruid?
Son, please come inside.
Gladly. Gentlemen.
I greet them by name.
So fucked.
Well, yeah.
Roll me an accidental intimidation check, because that's fucked.
Very good, very good.
What?
That's the laugh of we've given Zach too much power.
Is that an at 20, Jack?
That's a 28.
You're now a fucking myth. So you're an army legend.
Perfect.
So for a natural 20, I'm gonna give you something here. So as you're going around and you're greeting people, you see Vin. He's there, and you greet Vin by name, and he waves.
So,
and
do I
then
see what Jessica or Vin's first name is? Is Vin his first name?
Saunio Vincent
Oh, Vin.
has always gone by Vin. The other thing you notice, you see several Amber Forged.
Oh, nice.
You see just the contingent. It doesn't look like they sent any guards.
I was gonna say, is Kella here?
Kella? No.
My smuggler
No,
sister?
Kella is not here.
Okay.
Do I see the Amber Forge's thoughts?
You do not. But they are not organic beings, so their thoughts exist differently. They're constructs. But you do see their names.
Okay.
Really quickly, you do get just a couple of them as you go through. You see Gamma, who you remember from your initial trip out here.
Gotcha.
You also see another one called Vox.
That's good.
All 5 of you enter into the Archdruid's tent.
Actually, I look at the 4 of you all go in, and I just kind of nod at all of you and put my hand on my scythe and turn and stand guard at just on the outside of the tent, and like you can like reach out and grab me if you need me or something.
Sure thing. Are you sure?
I'm right here if you need me.
Okay. I just didn't want you to, be left out.
I will see if
Bring Gary in.
Gary can go on in, and he can kind of relate.
Yeah, I'll put out my other arm for Gary to hop on.
Gary, go with them for a second.
Gary skitters onto his shoulder, and as you take up position on one side of the door, Amareya Dejani does on the other.
Great.
Get through this, idiots.
Inside the tent, as the flap shuts, you see a very finely set up place. This clearly put together with some elements of magic as well as by a good old-fashioned flesh and blood hands. And the second the flap shuts, Mordecai, there are arms around you.
Yep, I was gonna say, like, if this place is clear, then I drop all presentation, and yeah,
Just way too tight.
Oh,
Mordecai,
good to see you.
Mordecai, what the hell is going on?
It's a long story. I'm gonna try to keep my head about it, and honestly, it's a bit above my expertise. I think Zephyr is the best one to explain the fine details.
Can we take a seat?
Of course. Please.
Are we safe from prying ears here?
Yes.
Okay.
How close does Justicar Vin stay to you?
That's where my eyes are.
Sure.
I'm particularly watching him.
Because I do not trust Justicar Vin more farther than I can throw him. Which, granted, he is tiny, so I could probably throw him pretty far, but...
He and I do not see eye to eye on many things, so we tend to keep our distance from each other. Not that I am terribly worried about him in any kind of martial sense. He's a politician.
That is what I worry about, is him overhearing something. I'll tell Awaken Mind to Jackson outside the door and go, keep an eye on Vin for me.
You just hear a hand slap on armor solidly once.
Saphir will like, without any trepidation, go to, like, I don't know if there's like a pitcher or something somewhere.
There's a pitcher of wine.
And pours himself a glass and grabs a seat.
So, I know you probably have a lot on your mind already from the initial reason of coming out here, but I hope that you can trust our take on what you're about to hear and how we learned it, because it's not exactly what you would say. I think the word is admissible.
At least on this side of the wall.
It was via the Awakened Seer.
At which point, she turns on her heel to Baelit. Baelit, you didn't.
I mean, it's not the
They
first
already
time.
had it. It wasn't me this time. They were going to do it without my supervision. I just helped them
did the one
along.
time.
And turns out, Carrie's gotten... They'll explain it. You honestly wouldn't believe it from me. Because I know you.
I lean over to Zephyr and like, did I just admit drug use to my mom?
You did, in fact. However, it was for a good. It was for a good cause. Do it for your country.
Jesus.
Okay, yeah. So Zephyr sort of settles in, takes a long sip. Okay, so based off of, I almost said Griffin. That is not your name.
Nope.
Mordecai's inquiry about whether or not you had your bracelet on you, I think that gives you the first clue. Some time ago, we, as a fluke, found our way into sort of the Golden Inspiration, Awakened Seer sort of sub-world thing. Based off of what was supposed to be recreational drug use, I'll be real with you. And we learned some pretty valuable information from that. Granted, at that point, I had, Kerry sort of, tied to me. And so this time, Baelit offered to help because Baelit is connected, which yielded some more valuable information.
What did you learn?
It started with a crown. Mm-hmm. The crown
of Wolnir. If that name means anything. Crown of Wolnir.
At one point, Jackson had put it on and heard a voice that knew him and spoke to him by his rank. It was Greynor's voice. And upon some inquiry, Kerry confirmed. Greynor has made himself a lich. Whether or not he has been this way for a long time, we are unsure. And whatever this crown is, or whatever form it's truly in here, it must be found and destroyed.
We think the crown is his. And I go for that piece of paper I had earlier, and I open it up and
You've
say...
got this?
Phonetically. Nope. Phylactery.
There you go. I'm very proud of you. Here is a cookie.
Did you just take a cookie off of the table from his mother and hand it to him?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Luckily, Baelit had his bracelet, and we figured it would be best to talk with you before anything else, and we're very happy that you have yours with you as well.
Because theoretically this means that Greynor is alive in some capacity.
Weakened, definitely, as Baelit has sort of confirmed as well. But he's rebuilding his strength. I mean, at this point, he's had over a year to rebuild his strength.
She nods. She looks tired.
No, for sure.
She takes this moment and she stands up. Thank you, boys. Give me a moment. And she moves over to a mirror in the room, and she taps a gem at the top, a gem at the bottom, and the gem on the right side. And it swirls for a moment. And after a second, you see your mother's face shift And it is not her anymore. You see Magus Diamond appear in the mirror.
Oh,
I miss her.
Magus Diamond.
Leia, what can I do for you? We have a situation. Jackson.
I am keeping an eye out on Jessica Carvin, and I'm also trying to see if there's anybody else here who could possibly be as important as Leia or Vin, or if it seems like it's the two of them and then a bunch of guards and prisoners.
Give me an investigation check.
Investigation is intelligence, so that's 12.
12. Cool. Yeah, you actually do see a couple of other people that look to be as important. You see, in addition to Vin, you see, let's take a look here, somebody dressed in what you are familiar with as military warlock robes.
Okay.
And you also see somebody dressed in the traditional robes of the guides.
Okay. Like a priest?
Yes. Yeah, it seems like a ranking priest. Like you're looking at at a bishop.
Okay.
Guide Pope.
And in addition to that, you do see 3 additional Amberforge walking by at various points.
Okay, great.
Do you specifically stop anybody to ask about any of the individuals that you have seen?
Is the colonel around?
Coppersot, you can flag her down.
Yeah, I'll flag her down and ask her.
Silver,
Coppersot,
good to see you again.
good to see you. Keeping everything in line?
Best as I can. They're still a little weakened. We've got chains of the Hedron on the prisoners, so they're not going anywhere or doing anything anytime soon. But we still keep a close eye on them. Everybody else has been behaving themselves. This is uncharted territory.
I hear that.
Not even I've been this deep into the wilds before, and she's looking around, surrounded by trees.
Yeah, new territory for sure. The trees took a while to get used to.
Yeah.
Had a couple of sleepless nights.
I'm sure.
How was the trip down here? How did you get here? I don't see. I look around and for Kyrip striders and horses. Or
She points to Gamma. Gamma actually met us along the wall. We took a boat a good chunk of the way. And then once we got down towards the southern part of the peninsula, there was a break in the rocks we were previously aware of. We were able to come upstream and make ground.
That sounds much easier than our trek.
Well, you also had a smaller group, and you had the Striders. Striders are good.
That's true. Yes, they are. They're delightful creatures. Takes a while to get used to riding them, though.
Gonna say, I don't like how high they go.
You know what I don't like? You know how you get used to riding a horse and, you know, some parts of you get calluses? Like Kyrip Strider, you're just kind of going all over the place, so pretty much you get 2 giant calluses that are the length of your leg.
Good to know.
It's not pleasant for 3 or 4 days.
Imagine not.
So, I'll point out the general and the warlock general.
Yeah.
Or the, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I point them out. So who, I should probably know, are they new?
That is the gnome warlock you see over there. He is Grand Entreacher Kalen Kane.
Kalen Kane.
He is the Grand Entreater of the general.
Oh, fuck.
So, just for reference for me, that would be equivalent to
High General of the General Warlocks.
Okay, so he's in charge.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He's essentially the voice of the general when the general's not around.
Oh, so he's the General Pope.
Exactly. He's the General Pope.
The General Pope.
General Pope.
We have 5 jokes.
What do you think of him?
Dour, driven. I like him.
And who's that one?
Oh, that's Bishop Nohilo.
Guides Bishop. All right.
Mm-hmm. Human.
So, what's the general feel around the approach here? Are we? Do they want to come in peace? Does it feel like they're ready to give up some things?
Are they united?
The sole purpose is peace. And she leans in close. Jackson, I don't want to make things sound dire, but things are a little dire. Was a drought this year. Food is kind of scarce. Supplies are fine for now, but with so many of the magic users gone, it was kind of hard to maintain the fields the way we have been for the past couple of decades. Things are drying out quickly.
That's a problem.
We are looking to create a quick and easy peace, and that's it.
Well, nothing like an empty stomach to motivate you.
You're not kidding. I'm hoping we can rectify this quickly so that we can get some transports going, but in the meantime, our people are growing fatigued especially at Bulwark. Plainswatch, Despera, they're all fine up north, but the further south you get, the capital is in a poor state.
I believe it. How goes the rebuild?
Slowly. The cleanup has been more important than the rebuilding.
I hear that. Well, before we all go into the city, you should probably be aware of the tensions in there. And I lay out to her guilds versus priests and that information.
And you start to explain that to her, and we'll cut back inside. Leia has just finished explaining the situation, bringing Magus Diamond up to speed. She nods. Okay, I think I can handle this. I've got a couple people I can put together. We'll find this thing. Yes, if we can verify it exists, we will figure out what to do with it. My God.
That is the hope. So, our plan...
Leia, are they still in there with you? Yes?
Hello.
Hi, Magus.
Hello,
us.
Hello, boys.
Hi.
Baylet, is that you over there too? Yeah, it's me. Hi. Well, give my best to Jackson, and I'm going to go ahead and get this started. Diamond out.
Oh, my!
Ooh, that was cool.
That was pretty cool.
And the image fades. Okay.
I also had a thought of, I don't know what Dad's up to now, but
attempting to keep things together in the military. He got a bit of a promotion after everything that went down, so he is now in charge of more.
Oh, I'm sure he hates that.
We all do.
Yeah.
So
he actually has to wear a uniform.
Yeah, that would be nice to see. We are only planning to stick around for sort of the openings of the talks. We sort of have a mission of sorts that we must finish.
What mission is that?
It's for Amareya.
He's here.
There's an old He is here. He was part of the request. When we moved out, people that were requested were old Aegis 3, Baylet, and Amareya Dejani.
Mordecai, roll me an insight check.
Did you not know that? Ooh, 21.
Mordecai, what you are seeing is your mother grow cold and uncomfortable. Zephyr, what you are seeing is, he killed my son. He killed my son. He killed my son.
Point.
How do he killed my son? Is he here?
Yeah.
I would like to speak with him. Alone.
With respect, I
would like to speak with him alone. Will you grant me this?
It is not mine to grant you. If he wishes that, yes, I have no place to give you space to speak with him, for I am not his guardian, and I am not him, and he
Amareya Dejani, can you please come in? Thank you for joining us here on Another Path. You can find our website and merch store at anotherpathpodcast.com, on Twitter at AnotherPathPod, and our network at ghostlightmedia.net. You can support our efforts by donating at patreon.com/ghostlightmedia. A special thanks to our donor, Nathan N., or by giving us a rating and review over on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcatcher will let you. You can find me on Twitter at TQLoudly, Ryan at Ryan_Albrecht, Griffin at GriffGold, Zach at BatGuyZachRob. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode, and until then, remember to warn friends when you invite a guest by.
This has been a Ghostlight Media production.